Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Infuse Your Future podcast, the place where we bring together people and ideas that make the world a better place. I'm your host, Dr. C. Today, I want to talk about really ridiculous goals, share one of mine, and invite you to share one of yours. Now, this is a concept that I've picked up from listening to various other podcasts. I think some of them call it by a different name, but overall, the idea is to pick a future goal that might seem ridiculous or absurd, but that you believe is attainable, and then go for it. Now, you might wonder, why should I have ridiculous goals? I can barely make normal goals. Well, there's several reasons. First, really ridiculous goals ignite creativity and innovation. Creativity helps push us to think outside the box and to find solutions we otherwise wouldn't have thought of. It leads to richer, more expansive experiences. When we set out on an outrageous goal, we're forced to explore unconventional approaches and challenge traditional thinking. And this can lead to innovative solutions and unexpected breakthroughs. Second, they motivate and excite us. They give us something audacious to strive for, igniting a passion and determination to prove that even the most far-fetched ideas are possible. The enthusiasm generated by such goals can fuel our progress and help us stay committed. Think of the audacious ideas that have occurred throughout time, like planes and automobiles, computers and the World Wide Web. What would have happened if Elon Musk had ignored his idea for electric cars or space travel, for instance? Third, personal growth and development. Pursuing ridiculous goals stretches our comfort zones and encourages our personal growth. It pushes us to take risks and overcome obstacles and develop new skills along the way. Even if we don't fully achieve the goal, the journey itself can provide valuable experience and lessons. Imagine if people like Walt Disney, Steve Jobs, Mahatma Gandhi, Martin Luther King Jr., or Oprah Winfrey had ignored their audacious goals. How different would the world be? Imagine someone you respect in your own field who embraced a ridiculous goal that led to growth and development in your industry. Where would it be if they had had small goals? Fourth, ridiculous goals can inspire and entertain us. They have the potential to capture our attention and generate curiosity. Sharing our journey and progress toward an outrageous goal can inspire others to dream big, think differently, and pursue their own ambitious aspirations. Whether it's putting people on the moon, building the Great Pyramids of Egypt, or making the next viral video, having an audacious goal can ignite passion and awe in us. Imagine where we'd be if Walt Disney had let his obstacles derail him, if he had refused to dream big. No Disney World, no Disney movies, no Mickey Mouse ears. And finally, they can lead us to unexpected outcomes. Sometimes aiming for a ridiculous goal can lead to outcomes that surpass our initial expectations. By daring to aim high, we could stumble on new opportunities, connections, or ideas that we wouldn't have discovered otherwise. The pursuit of a really ridiculous goal can open doors to unforeseen possibilities. I mean, initially people thought the idea of the telephone was ridiculous and useless. But look what it led to, a more connected, modernized world. Families who can stay in touch even though they're continents apart. Parents who can see their kids take their first step or ride their bike for the first time, even when they're away working. Of course, while setting ridiculous goals can be beneficial, it's important to balance them with realistic and attainable goals as well. Striking this balance allows us to have a healthy mix of aspirations that challenge and motivate us, while also ensuring we make progress toward achievable objectives. Okay, now we know what a ridiculous goal is and why it's important. So it's time to share one of mine. Now, honestly, I have many ridiculous goals, but I decided to start outing some of them for accountability's sake. So while I've been meaning to post one of these for a long time, it's Dr. Jane McGonigal who's finally inspired me to do it. In fact, in her book Imaginable, she has an entire chapter called, quote, "Be ridiculous at first," end quote. So in the spirit of being ridiculous, my first really ridiculous goal is to have Dr. McGonigal as a guest on my podcast, either to talk about her book Imaginable or some other fun subject. Why does this idea seem ridiculous? Well, Dr. McGonigal is a world-renowned future forecaster and game designer. So for me, it does seem ridiculous at first to invite her to be on my podcast. But I've been wanting to start interviewing authors of books I love, and she seems the perfect fit. I mean, she's a futurist. She works at the Institute for the Future, and my podcast is called Infuse Your Future. It is a perfect match. Now, why do I want to interview Dr. McGonigal? Well, she's conducted multiple simulations where she has people envision the future and then develop tools to help people survive and thrive in it. And I love talking about imagining the future and then coming up with creative ways to make it one that I want to live in and one that I want my children and grandchildren to both enjoy and thrive in. So, of course, I'd love to talk about the future with her. In her book, she also talks about urgent optimism and developing confidence and creativity for the future, even in the face of unimaginable events. I believe this is a key tool for self-care, for mental health, and for a healthy, vibrant society, not just today, but for the future. So I'd love to talk about something like urgent optimism with her on the podcast. And I've already started using a lot of her ideas to imagine my own future. So there it is, everybody. My first really ridiculous goal, which is to have Dr. McGonigal come on my podcast and talk about the future, about maybe urgent optimism or her book Imaginable. So now I'm curious to hear from you. What is your really ridiculous goal or your really ridiculous idea, and how are you going to share it with others? How is your idea going to make the world a better place? Let us know in the comments below or email me at infuseyourfuture@aol.com. In the meantime, and in the spirit of balancing this goal with reasonable and attainable goals, I'm starting a new segment called Future Fridays. And this idea was inspired by Dr. McGonigal's book, Imaginable. Now, every once in a while, I'm going to give you updates on how my ridiculous goal is going. So make sure to stay tuned and listen to future episodes. Thanks as always for listening and supporting the podcast. And please keep infusing your future with positive actions towards yourself, towards others, and towards the world. And please share this episode with at least 3 people to help us grow. Finally, if you or someone you know would be a good fit for the podcast, please reach out to me at infuseyourfuture@aol.com. You can also reach me through a link on my website, www.infuseyourfuture.com. Have a great day, everybody. Bye.